Hello everyone. Today I am going to be pressure canning carrots. I'm Rebecca from Simple Suburban Living. Now I have here about 8 cups of carrots and I have them cut pretty thick. I wanted them in chunks. So I started off with a 5-pound bag of carrots. I did not use the whole thing for sure. I probably used about 2.5 pounds. And then the rest I'm going to be dehydrating, but I'll make a separate video about that. So I am doing a cold pack, so I'm going to fill my jars with carrots and then cold water and all of that. But for 2 of my jars, I'm doing 5-pint jars. I'm using the Nesco canner and it can handle 5 pints at a time. So I'm doing 5 pints, and 2 of the pints I'm going to add onion soup mix. I'm going to do about 1/2 of a tablespoon, and so I'm going to go ahead and put that in 2 of the jars, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of water in each of those jars before I start filling them with carrots. And the only reason that I'm doing that is to help it mix up a little bit better. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and fill the jars with carrots. I'm just going to dump them by handfuls. What I did was, it's always hard to know exactly how many to prepare. So what I did was I cut the carrots and I filled up 5 pints just to see how many I needed. So I should have about the right amount of carrots. I'll kind of adapt and put a little more in some after I fill these. If I find out that I have too little in some and too much in others. Really don't even need the funnel for this, but it's such a habit to use the funnel. Okay, and I've got one more jar, and then I'll fill them up with water and make any adjustments that I need to make. Now let's go ahead and fill the jars with water, and then I'll debubble. Some of these seem pretty full with carrots, so I have a feeling I'm going to have to tweak things a little bit. But you never really know until after you finish debubbling. Okay, so the jars are full. I'm going to debubble each of them now. I have them pretty packed in there, so it's making it a little bit challenging to debubble. And I probably am going to have to pull some out of the jars. You don't want to overfill them. Okay, I definitely have some that are too full, so I'm going to get a spoon and spoon out some of the liquid, and then also remove a couple of the carrot slices. But this is pretty darn close, so I can't say that I'm disappointed. Alright. Okay, now the next step is to wipe the rims. And I have a small bowl here with vinegar, and I'm just going to wipe the rims to make sure that they are good and clean. Because basically if the rims are not clean, then they won't seal properly. So that's why you do that step. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now, and this vinegar I'm going to dump into my canner. Now let's go ahead and put the lids on. Okay, I am using Harvest Guard lids, and the process for them is slightly different than for like your ball type of lids. And I'm in the middle of canning some potatoes also, and I had this tablecloth down on the table, and I am afraid that I put the lids on a little bit too tight. So I don't know yet, but it's possible that some of those might not have sealed properly. So what I'm doing now is I'm just pulling the tablecloth back so that I have them directly on the table. And the reason for that is, well, you'll see in just a second. So first let me say that I've got the flats and the gaskets, and I have had those in hot water, which you do not have to do if you're using the ball or Kerr type lids, okay? But it's part of the process for harvest guard lids. And so the way that you determine the tightness for harvest guard lids is you put make sure you center the lid and the gasket, and then you just turn until it starts to turn. So you don't put it as tightly as you normally do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put all of the lids on, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so I have the 5-pint jars in the canner, and I'm going to add 8 cups of water. And I'm doing, it's slightly warm water, but it's closer to room temperature than it is hot. And the reason is because I put room temperature water in the jars. The jars are room temperature. So I'm going to close the lid and turn it to the closed position. I have this vent on the exhaust setting, and I'm going to go down here and I'm pressing high, and then I'm putting in the time, and pints of carrots process for 25 minutes. So I'm putting on 25 minutes and then hitting the start button. Now what happens at this time is that the canner, the water in the canner and everything will heat up. Once it gets to the proper temperature, it will then vent for 10 minutes. And then after that, I'll switch the vent to airtight. And then it will, once it gets up to pressure, it will process for 25 minutes. So I'll show you that each step of the way. Okay, the water has heated up in the canner, and I actually missed when it switched to E10, but E10 means exhaust 10. It exhausts for 10 minutes. So it's counted down 1 minute now. It'll go all the way down to 0, and then I'll switch it to the airtight position. I'll bring you back at that time. Okay, you can see that it's now at E1, and you can probably hear that it is venting. So in just a minute, it will go down to E0 and beep, and then I will change the valve to airtight. Okay, now you hear it beep, you see the E0, and I'm going to go up here and I'm changing the valve to the airtight position. Okay, now it'll stay at E0 for just a minute or so, and then it'll start doing what's called the digital chase. And then once enough pressure builds up, it will start the countdown. I'll try to capture each parts of those with the video. Okay, this is what is known as the digital chase. It's an indication that the pressure is building, but it hasn't yet built up the proper amount of pressure for the timer to start. I'll bring you back when the timer goes on. Okay, the digital chase ended. It has now switched over to the timer, and it will now start counting down the 25 minutes. When that timer goes off, I'm going to let it sit and calm down pressure naturally, which I'll have to let you know how it does. When I do quarts, that takes about an hour and a half. It might only take about an hour or so with pints, but the Nesco manual does say to wait at least an hour before opening up the canner. Okay, you can see that it's now counted down to 1 minute, and if you hear that sound, there is steam coming out of the valve, and that is totally normal. Even though it's not set on exhaust, it's set on airtight. The steam will be released if it needs to release to maintain the proper amount of pressure. So that's what's going on there. So we'll wait just a minute, and then you'll hear a beep and it will turn off, and I'll talk to you about what happens at that point. Okay, probably heard the beep. You can see that it's saying off. I'm going to unplug the canner, and now I'm just going to let it sit for at least an hour for the pressure to come down naturally. Okay, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes since the timer went off, since the processing finished, and the pressure has now come down naturally, and I'm going to open up the canner and remove the jars. One, and now the rest of them will be easy to get out. So I'll bring it back down here where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now as far as I can tell by just looking at the water that's in the canner, there wasn't any siphoning. I'm going to wait 5 minutes and then tighten the rims on these. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to just tighten the rings on each of these. This step is not necessary if you're using the standard ball lids or the Kerr lids, that type of thing. It's only necessary if you're using the reusable lids, such as Tatler or the Harvest Guard. All right. Okay. And now I'm going to cover the lids with a towel, or excuse me, the jars with a towel, and then just let them sit, and then I'll check them in the morning. Okay, so it's now later in the evening. I had 5 pints of carrots that I did, and one of them did not seal, so I went ahead and put that into the fridge, and I'll use it within the next few days. And I'm going to go up kind of closer here. You can see those two are the ones that had the onion soup mix in them. Those both sealed, and then I had 3 that were just plain, and as I said, one of them did not seal. I decided to make 3 of them plain because I'm not sure what I'll be using them in, so I didn't want to have the onion soup mix in those. I just wanted them plain so that they would go with anything. I'll actually be using one of the cans of carrots in an upcoming video. I'm going to start doing some videos where I show me making recipes from my food storage. So I will be publishing that right after the new year. So hopefully you'll be looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to showing you how I use the food storage that I do. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you'd like the video. And if you haven't already done so, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Have a great day.